Hello again, everyone. So now we're back to another set of videos. Right now we're going to look into ternary operator. We're still on basic operators, and we're going to look into ternary operator. What is a ternary operator? And I think so far, before I even delve deeper into this, I'm just impressed by how many operators we have here and how it expands from the normal arithmetic and comparison operators, but we have more than that. Now, I guess the word ternary, as far as we understand from the beginning of what is this playlist, we came to learn that a ternary operator pretty much operates on three. What is this? On three targets. I just wanted to remember that part. The ternary operator, the ternary conditional operator, is a special operator with three parts. That's what we learn here, which takes the form question, answer, answer one, and answer two. It's a shortcut for evaluating one of two expressions based on whether the condition is true or false. So as soon as we see this, I'm seeing a shortcut statement of an if statement. I feel like it's a shortcut if statement, or it's a shorthand if statement, if I may use the better term. If question is true, it evaluates answer 1 and returns its value. Otherwise, it evaluates answer 2 and returns its value. So let's see. The ternary conditional operator is a shorthand for the code below. Okay. So if question is true, then return answer 1, else return answer 2. So we want to write the shorthand form, or the shorthand for this if statement that then becomes a ternary operator. So now let us look at how it is organized. Well, it's easy. I think it's organized very well here. Okay, let me take some notes. I'm just gonna call it. Yeah, I just wanted to do this as well, just so that I could try to see if we can. Then ternary operator. Okay, let's see. What kind of an operator is this? Okay, firstly, what I'm learning with this operator is that it's a combination of both. It's not just one thing. As we look, it has this and then this. It's not just one. Because if I do this, well, I guess that won't work. But then, okay, an if statement does not return anything. Does it return something? I don't know. Okay, but then it's just an if statement. Okay, it's just an if statement. Okay, true. But then it's always going to yield a true. So, will this work just like that? Okay, well, it did work, but then I'm sure the warning says will never be executed because this is always true. So if I say var value is true, okay. Well, now it's not gonna, shouldn't give us that error, that hint. Okay, so then if I say value is false, then it should give us a we are not true. We are true and working. We are false and not. Okay, so these two statements ideally, I guess, if I don't know, I like to put brackets and all these things inside print. Okay, we are true and working. Oh, and not working. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be false. Because I was surprised that they look like they were different. We are false and not working. So I guess ideally these two statements are the same, but then this one here has a much more cleaner code. It's just literally a single line of code. Even if I zoom this out, we can see all of this bends on a single line of code, and whereas this one here takes multiple lines of code. Now one can try to remove these things here. This, this, and this. I think I see how it can become the case. Let's see if this is going to work. I think I can see how this can become the case, because the more you do this, especially if it's a single line, then and as soon as I add this, this is how we can make this become a single line. Sorry. Well, they are both pretty much, it's just a thing of structure, I guess. But then now, can I do this to them? Or should it always be just like this? Can I do this? Can I do this? I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm just trying. Okay, I guess it works. That's the if. If the statement is true, then execute this portion of code here. Else, execute this. So this is else. This is else. This is where the if value statement will reside. So I guess that's pretty much it here. It's okay. What did we expect here? Are we okay now? Okay, well, I guess it needs me to remove this, I guess. How did it work before? Did it really work? Okay, well, I guess what did I do here? Okay, let's check the error first. Expected after, or what? We're not allowed to terminate this. Okay, I guess we're not allowed to terminate it like that. Then, wow, okay, so I guess this means a lot then. This means more than I thought it does. Okay, this means a lot. So we need to understand why this terminates, why this brings an error. Because now it works fine, and then obviously this one is accepted. So that means, I guess it makes sense in a sense that now I can just do a lot of these here. I can put as many spaces as I like, shouldn't be a problem. You can even add 3 of them. The logic is fine, but as soon as I add this anywhere here, then I'm terminating the whole statement. I'm saying the statement starts from here and it ends here, and hence it says expected a ternary expression after this. So that's one of the things that we're seeing here. Okay, let's go back. Okay, sounds good. But then now, if I do this, I wonder what it's going to evaluate to. Okay, it works well. But now, how come it doesn't complain? Yeah, now I see where it's complaining. It says, cannot use optional chaining or non-optional value. Okay, now it takes this as an optional value, except if I use the word optional here, except if I do this, then it is now a completely different string altogether. Let's see. Must be followed by a call member, lookup, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. I see that. Now this is not an optional, so it's best to always leave spaces so that you don't put them together, because if you do, then this is going to be recognized as an optional. But then now we know we're talking about what is it called again? It's not a range operator. It's not. No. It's called a ternary conditional operator. Ternary conditional operator. It's a shortcut for evaluating. Okay, we read this part here. We also talked about this. Here's an example which calculates the height of a table row. The height, the row height should be 50 points taller than the content height if the row has a header, and 20 points taller if the row does not have a header. Now, I guess what's interesting about this is that it returns a value. And does an if statement return a value? I like this idea of being able to return a value. I think it's awesome because not everything returns a value as we had it before. For example, can I do this? Let okay, height, right, is equal to if false, right, and then if false, okay, I can't print and I can't return. That's the issue. I can't do this. I can't do a return 0, you know, and then say else return 1. I can't do that. Okay, that's supposed to be a 1. I can't do this with an if statement. So that means an if statement does not return a value. Consecutive statements on a line must be separated by a semicolon. Return valid, invalid outside a function. Okay, cool. Print. Okay, but then I can't. It doesn't return. An if statement does not return. But then if it does not return, what does it do? You know, that's the interesting thing about it. It's a block of code. What is this here? Obviously, we know it doesn't return. But then if this does not return, can I do this here? Can I say return 1? Will it work if I say return 1? Okay, well, we do know this does not return as well. So if it does not, it doesn't return using the return keyword. But then if I do this, then okay, result values in expression must have mismatching types. Int. Okay. because I wanted to write something like this here. Okay, well, I can't write it. I'm writing it the wrong way completely. I'm writing it entirely the wrong way, because obviously the closing bracket needs to be in here. Therefore, it is not accepted. But we have an issue here. Expression have mismatched types. So then that means if I do it this way, all expressions should have the same data type in order for them to work. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, now it works well. So that means if I do a print, I can now print this statement here, which prints a 1 if the value is this way, and it prints a 2 if the value is that way. So now I see how interesting this thing is. And you can't do the same with an if statement. You know, it just won't work. You can't print an if statement. You can't print what is this? What an if statement evaluates. You can write statements within an if statement. You can print values, but then that's very interesting, because now how do we define an if statement? We'll get into that, but I like this here. I really like how we can print, or how this ternary conditional operator returns a value. I think this is very interesting here. Let's see. The example above is the shorthand for the code below. Wow. So here we can see they cannot assign an if statement. What is this? Since an if statement does not return a value, they have to return the value, or they have to assign row height within the if statement on the right condition of the if statement. That's the very interesting thing. I never thought it's so cool like that, and I find it interesting. I've noticed that. I think TypeScript has the same thing. I found this interesting. I think JavaScript also is the same thing. Let me check if it's ternary conditional operator in JavaScript. Ternary condition operator JavaScript conditional operator. Well, it seems like it's there. There we go. Well, so it's so sweet. It's so sweet how it works. It's very sweet. I like this. It just replaces an if-else statement. That's what I think I like about this. Yeah, that's pretty much what it does. It just replaces an if statement. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Honestly, that's very awesome. Cool. Let's see what else we can learn about ternary conditional operator. The first examples use the ternary conditional operator. Use of the ternary conditional operator means that the row height can be set to the correct value on a single line of code, which is more concise than the code used in the second example. The ternary conditional operator provides an efficient shorthand for deciding which of two expressions to consider. Use the ternary conditional operator with care. However, the first example uses the ternary conditional operator. The first example's use of the ternary conditional operator means that row height can be set to the correct value on a single line of code, which is more concise than the code used in the second example. The ternary conditional operator provides an efficient shorthand for deciding which of the two expressions to consider. Use ternary conditional operator with care, however. Its conscience can lead to hard-to-read code if overused. Avoid combining multiple instances of the ternary conditional operator into one compound statement. Okay, I guess I see this. I think the goal here is that keep it simple. Just keep it as simple as you can. And you can do that, You can create a nested if statement within a ternary conditional operator. And they say avoid doing that because it can bring problems. Because we can say whatever this returns here, we can put it inside another ternary conditional operator. For example, we can do this here. I can say print. Okay, instead of doing, oh yeah, I can pretty much do a print here. Okay, I can say print, and then I can say, do I say print? Okay, I can do this again. And then now it's gonna print more than once. I wonder what it's gonna do here. Okay, now I want to print the value is 0, or oh wait, I don't have to do this. I just needed to do that. Or print the value is 1. So in other words, if this, okay, that shouldn't work. That shouldn't work, should go. But then this should work. This should work. But then this should work. I know this should work. Okay. Type expression is ambiguous without more context. So I'm not trying to really make this difficult without knowing why. Okay. Okay, let me just say this. Let's call it that. So x will be evaluated to the value that gets returned here. But then now, can I continue to do this? I don't know why I'm trying to make this a little bit, but then how can I have a let within the statement that is there? This shouldn't work. Well, it shouldn't work. We know why it's not working. Okay, I'm trying to make it too sophisticated for no reason. But yeah, I guess what we're learning essentially is that we can nest our ternary conditional operators, but I just do not know how. I don't know yet what is the problem that is happening. Does it want, because if it returns a value, that's another thing that is very important. Let's discuss this thing. If this returns a value, because what we do know that it has a return type. That's one of the things that we do know about this. It has a return type. And if it does have a return type, can it return? Because if, for example, I think what's interesting about this is that the return type is inferred. It's inferred to 0. And if it's inferred to 0, then it means the return type becomes an integer. Then if the return type becomes an integer, I need to make sure that this expression also evaluates to an integer as well. Those are some of the things that I'm seeing here that are happening. And if it does not evaluate to an integer, then it throws a problem, because this is a method which has a return type. Now, obviously, we didn't write the return type in where, but the way that this method is structured is that it has a return type. And obviously, the return type is dynamic based upon the arguments that we use inside this operator here. Now, if I say 1, it works well. Now, I can just come here and print all this thing here. Shouldn't give us a problem. If I say 10, it shouldn't give us a problem. Good. It works well like that. I think yeah, that's it for but then the most important thing here is that this operator has a return type. It returns something, and pretty much everything that returns something has a return type. And I think that's where it becomes very important. everything that has a return, everything that returns a value has a return type, and that's very important. That's very important. It's important to know. Yeah. So we'll dive more to this, and I don't know how, but then as we continue learning, it'll make more sense to us. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Cheers. Bye.